And we're live. MikeO with Reese ND Card Ranger. What's up, Reese?
Hey, Mike, thanks. Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I just hope you're as excited for the upcoming baseball season as me. It's going to be a few minutes. We just went live, but some people filter in. Of course, as usual, the majority of the viewers will be watching this in the archive. Hopefully, the comments will be set up that you can follow along with the chat. Just going to be on for anywhere from 20 minutes to, I don't know, 30, 45. We'll see. We're aiming for a half hour, but we also know that usually that gets extended. But we're just here to talk a little bit about the upcoming 2022 Major League Baseball season, specifically the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
And Reese, it feels good to have a normal full Major League Baseball season just a day away, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, I can't wait. I take the first day of the Philly season off as vacation every year. So I'm off Friday.
Did you have to alter that at one point since it was supposed to be a week or two ago?
Yes. Yeah, but they're pretty easy. But they know I take baseball season off, and then I take a day off in the year. I call it my baseball vacation. And I usually go to 2 games, like Lakewood and the Phillies, so they know. They know.
But it's just been a crazy couple years, and it just feels different this year. Going in, knowing we have the 162, of course, post lockout stuff, fans in the stands, whether we're there or not, it's definitely just a different feeling. So I think we're both somewhat optimistic, maybe cautiously optimistic. I personally, I know I've felt the optimism growing really in recent weeks, even. I was kind of all along feeling like, well, the Phillies are the third best team. They continued to make additions. You kind of see how things are developing health-wise and stuff. You start evaluating the team. And honestly, now, like, I really do feel like they have an extremely great chance to finally break the playoff drought, this playoff drought, which is the longest in the National League, unfortunately. And the second longest in Major League Baseball. And I just feel good. I feel like they have a shot at the division. I would never say they're the favorites. I think Atlanta certainly is. And I think, the Braves are coming off a championship, so that gives them kind of that look right there. And it's going to be a weird year, right? No Freddie Freeman for them, but they're going to have at some point Ronald Acuna back and healthy. And they have made a lot of additions, so I suspect they'll be very strong. And then the New York Mets, we know they're filled with talent. They're a veteran team. They're a little old, which can be good, and it could potentially be bad, and we'll see how that plays out. But we also know their owner will do anything to help them if they have problems along the way. They won't be shy about adding God knows how much in payroll. That might hurt them in the future. We'll see. But I mean, Reese, how do you feel? You feel optimistic?
I do. I'm guarded. I'm guarded though, right? I don't want to get too excited, but with the preseason and that lineup, if their pitching can stay healthy, it could be a really fun year. So yeah, I am optimistic. Like you, I don't want to say they're going to win the NL East. Atlanta is up there, and anything can happen. Like you said, the Mets, but I haven't been this excited for a season probably since they signed Harper, even though there wasn't a lot around him. But I haven't been excited for the first opening day like this in a long time.
And it's going to be the first time in a while where, like, just the offense looks like it has the potential to be so good. I mean, 1 through 5, they're almost as good, if not as good as anyone out there in the National League, in Major League Baseball. And then you look at it and you're like, well, you have Gene Segura, who's had a really good year last year. Like, he has the capability of hitting 300, hitting 12, 15 home runs. Didi Gregorius, rough year last year, contract year. I mean, he's a guy who has 20 home run potential. Like, if he's hitting your 7-hole, 8-hole, that's not bad.
Nope.
You have 2 first-round picks who should be, at least to start the season, sharing third base duties. We'll see how that plays out. Alec Boehm, big 2020, struggling in 2021. Bryson Stott just crushing it in the minors and during spring training. And center field, Matt Vierling looked good last year. Mickey Modiak, who is kind of left and looked upon as someone who's on his way out of baseball suddenly every other day is hitting home runs in spring training and plays his way onto the opening day roster and very well possibly into the opening day lineup.
Yeah, he had another home run today, and it was like 2 weeks ago. Wasn't Girardi? He was quoted as saying like Moniak really wasn't in the picture, wasn't it? It was like maybe it was 3 weeks ago, but at some point,
oh yeah, beginning of spring training, it was like we're not looking at him for center field. It's going to be Herrera or Veerling or Hazley, and next thing you know, Herrera's hurt. Probably one of the injuries that we were.
You can say it.
Probably the least upset I've ever been about a Phillies player being injured. I was kind of like, cool, opportunity for someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone would be better in the head, at least, making baseball decisions.
His base, you don't like his base running? Come on, Mike.
No. Can't make it to save his life. But between that and then the fact that Hazley was shipped out of town, I mean, all of a sudden that and Moniak playing well. So I'm certainly excited. And of course, we're going to be talking about some sports cards, some memories, a little bit about this season. Certainly want to acknowledge those watching live. We got Hitman 23, who's an awesome dude. Appreciate you tuning in. Mm-hmm. Big Scott 35 is here because Reese is on. He's not sure who the little kid hosting is. Reese and I talked about that before the live stream. Some of my recent pictures, I might look a little different. Maybe I look a little younger, but we got Ryan Fort Comedy getting to watch Castellanos, Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they're going to have a ton of extra base hits. So it's going to be a ton of fun. What's up, Dustin Bellinger? Appreciate you tuning in. The offense should be exciting. I mean, they honestly have like 7-8 guys who could hit 20 home runs. I mean, we'll see. 30 home runs. I mean, Castellanos, Schwarber, Harper, Hoskins are all very realistic. Real Muto, I don't think it's out of the question. He's probably more like a 20-25 guy, but it's possible. Extra base hits. They should hit a ton of doubles. So it's going to be exciting. They're going to put up a lot of runs. Now, the starting staff is really solid on paper, 1 through 5. So I feel pretty good about that. Of course, health, stuff like that. You don't know what's going to happen. Depth beyond that isn't ideal, but they can always make a move. So I'm not in panic mode. Bullpen, little concerning. Corey Knebel looked fantastic during the preseason. Rest of the bullpen, maybe a little shaky, but I mean, even if you roll the dice, 2 years ago, pandemic shortened season, worst ERA in like 100 years for a bullpen. Absolutely awful. Like literally the single reason they didn't make the postseason. Last year, not as bad, but they still set a franchise record for blown saves. So, I mean, I just feel like if you threw anyone out there, they couldn't be as bad as they've been the last 2 years. And they do have some live arms. They have some veterans. They have some young guys. So there is an opportunity for them to be a little better. But this is going to be one of those teams where you go into the 9th inning down 2 or 3 runs and you feel like you have a shot. Mm-hmm. Maybe in years past when you had, Tommy Joseph, Cameron Rupp, and Tyler Goodell, due up in the 9th inning, you were kind of like, maybe I should go to bed. Now it's like you're going to have to sit there to the last moment. I mean, I'm the type of person who would sit there and ruin the next morning for myself.
Not sleep.
Anyway, and give up sleep. But, I mean, it's kind of tough, to leave a game early or turn a game off early when you have a lineup that potent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think about even the worst case scenario, like you don't have Hector Neris to blow the leads as like he used to do every other game. So anything is better than the last couple of years. And I can't wait to see how the bottom of the order does. Like you said, like if some of these guys can step up, the younger players, man, it could be crazy. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. And like Of course, we're referring to and talking mostly about the Phillies because that's what we are. We're both Phillies fans. But, like, I'm a baseball fan, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Absolutely going to have games on all day, flipping between them. I actually have to take advantage of my T-Mobile and sign up for my free MLB TV. Of course, I'll have games on ESPN, MLB Network. I always have the setup where I have a game on a TV there. I'll have a game on this screen. I'll have a game on that screen. I'll be sitting there working on stuff, just checking things out, which is always a ton of fun. Something I really look forward to.
And you're doing fantasy this year, so you have to check all the box scores and all that kind of stuff.
So that's in reference to Hitman 23. That's a picture of me at yesterday or the day before. So it is all gone. But at some point it'll find its way back. Will S popping in wants to know if Harper will repeat as MVP. That's obviously a very difficult thing to do, but it's absolutely a possibility. I would just assume you agree there, Reese.
Yeah, I mean he has more people around him this year to hopefully even get more pitches, better pitches, right? You would hope.
Yeah, so, last year it was really in September, him and Real Muto. Hoskins was hurt. Yep. Everyone else,
Yeah.
They weren't here. Kyle Schwarber was in Boston. Nick Castellanos was in Cincinnati. So, I mean, should have more opportunities to score runs, should have more guys on base, more protection. I mean, but winning MVP is a difficult thing. I mean, just to have a strong season and for them to win is, all you're looking for. And then you just look at the rest of the league. I mean, Juan Soto, of course, is a Vegas favorite and a favorite of a lot of people out there to potentially win an MVP award. And, you just never know. Dustin Bellinger. It's a tough year for the Cubs. They're, rebuilding, but it could be worse. You could be an A's fan. You don't know if the roster will even be there past opening day. They might trade everyone. Bowman 53, Alex. Appreciate you tuning in.
Cool.
True optimism, not the fake optimism, because we always have the fake optimism, right? We're like, it's opening day. Maybe this will be the year. And in the back of your head, you're like, this team will be really lucky to win 77 games.
It's true. Yes.
So that's for sure. But yeah, baseball season I'm excited about. Anything you're specifically intrigued about for Major League Baseball or the Phillies specifically?
No, I'm like I said, I think I'm really into the younger players this year. I like finally some number one picks are like on the team. It's been a long time since they have been a part of the team that you feel like they may stick, right? So I'm excited really to see Moniak and Bryson Stott and see how they do. And Baum too. I mean, he had a bad season last year, so I'm really curious to see how those three do and who steps up. Hopefully, more than one. But
yeah, and you want to see guys like Baum play well because then you have either someone to fill that position or you have some potential trade bait because, of course, you might need a starting pitcher at some point. If someone doesn't work out in center field, but the two third basemen / infielders work out. You could use one for a trade. So that's all stuff that you can consider.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I can't wait for Friday. I can't wait.
What's up, man? Jeannie.
Hey, there's John. Yeah. Hey, John. Too funny.
We sort of just addressed it, but honestly, I think the fact that they both made it, I think is a good thing for the time being. We'll see how it sorts itself out. I think for now, they have a ton of games consecutively to start the year. And really, I think like the first 2 months because of the lockout, they only have like 2 or 3 days off. So you can rotate guys in. You can place, Stott at second base one day. You can play him at shortstop maybe once a week. Bohm can play over at first base, obviously DH. So I don't think Alec Bohm's going to be playing 6 days a week, but I think he should get enough at-bats to – as opposed to just kind of potentially shattering that confidence, sending him down to AAA. He swung the bat a little bit better there in the last few days of spring training. So obviously just hoping for the best. And, hopefully Stott plays really well. Hopefully he can play close to as well as he did during spring training. So definitely looking forward to it.
I think Girardi will try to get them both as a lot of at bats because you don't want those young guys, you know, on the bench, riding the bench too much. You want to get them as many at bats as you can, right? That's why they would send them down to AAA. And the fact that they didn't, I'm hoping he has a good plan.
Yeah, and I would hear like a lot of radio shows, a lot of experts talking about, they got to just dump Bohm. I'm like, I mean, first of all, you're not an expert. I know that. The average listener doesn't know, but I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of people, at least in this area, in my opinion, that don't know a whole lot about baseball, can't speak to their expertise for the other sports, but I listen to them. I'm like, the thing is, like, if there was a trade that made sense with Alec Bohm, go for it. But you don't just dump a guy who had some success in the majors just 2 years ago, who's still 23, 24 years old, who's a top 3 pick. Like, he has some sort of value. I'm like, then why are you excited for Bryson Stott? Because the same people who said, oh, he's got to play, he's this, like, you were saying literally the same thing about Alec Bohm last year. And you were saying the same thing about Scott Kingery 2 years before that. So I'm like, you know what I mean? It's hard to handle the situations, but, we'll see. Mike Schmidt sucked when he came up.
He did first year. He did. Yeah,
he wasn't very good. Should
right.
they have dumped him for nothing?
Right.
Not everyone has immediate success, and not everyone continues immediate success. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But Dustin. Go ahead.
They gave Kingery the contract during spring training. Remember that? I was like, that was odd in itself. And then it didn't work out. Let's put it that way. So far.
We do have a Bohm supporter out there in Nebraska, and Dustin Bellinger. So
there you go. Nice.
Ranger Suarez, he was amazing last year. I think your average baseball fan who probably didn't pay a lot of attention to the Phillies last year doesn't even realize. Like, he was so good. He did it all. He deserved some Cy Young votes. I'm not saying first, second, third place votes, but he should have gotten a few later votes because he was incredible when he was a closer. Yeah. He was incredible for a long man. Not that your average person cares, but it can be an important, and he was unbelievable, specifically in September as a starter. So I think it's going to be fun to see how he performs.
Yeah, he had a good his last start in spring training was pretty good. The one before that was okay, but his last one was pretty good. So hopefully
I'm the guy who has his Sapphire 1-of-1 superfractor is probably hoping he continues because that guy's had it listed on eBay for like $10,000 for the last 6 months. So
really?
Sure. I saw it on there. I was like, oh, that's a cool card, but Did
you throw out an offer or what?
I don't even know if you can.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Amish Dave? Anyway, we do want to talk about some memories, and we do have some cards to show off, believe it or not, since, we both have YouTube channels that have to do with cards. But just real quick, any specific memories you can think of that pops off your head for opening day related?
Yeah, I mean, I've been going to open day before the pandemic for like 4 years in a row. My buddy and my wife calls him my baseball bro because we're obsessed, and he likes to watch. I don't know if you're like me, but I like to watch. When I'm there, I watch the game. Like, I don't want to talk about work. I want to watch the game and talk about the game. So
you don't go there to stand in line for, what's that crap called? Crab fries for 4 innings?
No, nope. I usually am in my seat or standing behind the thing. But recently we went to opening day when Harper was there, and actually it was McCutcheon's first, year too. And, he led off with the home run and the crowd was going crazy. It was a great game. Then Hoskins hit a big home run, so as far as opening day, like I've been to like 4. I've been to 4 opening days. That was my favorite one because it's just the most exciting. But my favorite Phillies memory is interesting. It's I went to a game in 2010 with my aunt and uncle. They got tickets, and it was the game where Jason Worth had a walk-off in the 9th. They won with the walk-off with Jason Worth. So like Joe Blanton, I remember Joe Blanton was the starting pitcher because I'm like, of all games we have tickets to, and the staff was good then, right? It's Joe Blanton that started. And then my all-time favorite, Well, and that's the opposite. It was J.C. Romero came on. He gave up a run. They were behind, and then they won it in the ninth. So I just remember, celebrating with them. It was a blast. It was a fun game to go to.
I've been
Great team.
really, really lucky to be at a lot of games, and obviously you have all the memories watching games on TV. Opening day, I remember obviously I remember 93. I was like 11, 12 years old, whatever.
Oh man, that team. Yeah.
So that was by far the most fun team ever. Like the expectations weren't very high. They Allen and Ginter for the win.
Rookie, baby.
But like the team was just so fun. Like I'm telling you, they could easily do like a TV series about that team, about that season. Like you could fictionalize if you want, but like
it'd be incredible.
The characters are great. I can't believe they haven't done an ESPN 30 for 30. Like that team had no business reaching the World Series. They had a lot of good players, but like if you look at them to the Blue Jays, like the Blue Jays have like a half dozen Hall of Famers, I think, on that team.
Yep.
But they were good, and like that team was just so much fun. But then after that, of course, things broke down. 94 strike, and then 95 they had some bad years in the late 90s and early 2000s. They had a few years where they competed, won like 85 games, but always fell short of the playoffs. But I remember in 03, after the Jim Thome signing, going to opening day, and I just remember having chills being there. I went there with like 4 or 5 of my buddies, and the stadium was filled, and it was so loud. They're introducing, and I just remember like being so happy, just looking around like at the vet being filled to capacity, and so excited and so thrilled, and thinking, oh my God, like they're relevant in the city. They're relevant in baseball. This is going to be such a fun year. They're playing the Pirates. And then Joe Roa, do you remember him? Journeyman dude, got the opening day start.
Yes.
4 batters into the home opener. Reggie Sanders hits a grand slam. They're down 4-0. I'm like, God damn it. I was so disappointed.
That's the only downside of going to opening day or a game is if they don't win, it's it's like it's gut wrenching. It's more gut wrenching when you're watching on TV and you can walk away at the end, Yeah.
Especially when it's something like opening day or a playoff game. I mean, if you go to enough regular season games, they're not going to win them all. But like that, I just remember being like, oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, like just in general, just been so many. I mean, I've been really fortunate. I was at Terry Mulholland's no-hitter back in 1990.
Oh man!
So that was amazing.
Holy crap! Yeah.
I was at Roy Halladay's no-hitter in the postseason in 2010.
Remember you talking about that one? Yes, that would be. I think that would probably be. I don't know how you would beat that one. Roy Halladay.
I mean, being there in 2008 for part 1 and part 2 in game 5 was pretty crazy. So, I mean, just getting to go to the playoffs there for a number of years in a row. And like now we're at the point where it's like they haven't been in the postseason. It's hard to believe it's been so long. It's been 11 years, 10 seasons, 11 years, whatever. And it's just like, you took it for granted there for that 5-year stretch. So I look forward to that and that passion and that energy in the ballpark again. And hopefully it happens. And I think there is a real possibility of it for sure.
I mean, last year we won 82 games, and it had been a decade since we've won more than 82 games, right? It was like, I think it was 2011 it was 2011. We won like 100 and some games in 2011. But I hope this year, I don't know what my win total would be for the Phillies this year. I'm probably optimistic, but I don't know. North of 90 would be my hope, right?
I mean, they won 82 last year with some pretty bad lineups down the stretch. So, I mean,
and a horrible bullpen.
Conservatively, I don't see how 86, 87, I would think would be in the conversation for the wild card spot. And then obviously if things go right, you should be pushing 90. A lot of competition, like we talked about with the Mets and Braves. And you can't, the Marlins are pretty talented. I don't know if they're ready to compete to win the division, but like they could hang around in the playoff race for sure late into the year. And the Nationals, the Nationals probably won't be very good. They're probably going to lose a lot of games, but there will absolutely be times where you're in a tight game in the 8th, 9th inning, and Juan Soto and Nelson Cruz will beat you. So those could be critical games. Yeah. But let's show off some cards. I know we both grabbed some that are just just a mix. I grabbed a bunch
Okay.
of random stuff, but they all are going to have some sort of meaning behind them. I'll show off one that I was excited to pick up a few years ago. Baseball fans will even remember this. Phillies fans, of course. John Kruk, Randy Johnson, dual autograph.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
awesome.
from Topps Tribute, number 12 of 25. I haven't looked for this for a while, but I remember when it came out, looking for it for months before I was able to find it. That came out in 2017. Famous matchup in the All-Star game. So you were
Wow.
referencing John Kruk before, and he was just a
That's true.
fun player to watch, root for, and he's
One of
still
my
fun to
favorites.
listen to when he's on TV.
He is one of my favorites. Yeah, I just enjoy listening to him. I get my cat off of here.
Special guest.
Yeah, I'm going to show you an older set that I finally finished this past year, and the 1950 Inquirer. The Whiz Kids are, I love the Whiz Kids. So this is there's 25 in this set. This was in the Inquirer in 1950, all the Whiz Kids. So it has the whole team. So Robert, that's Ashburn and Roberts and all the amazing Whiz Kids are in this set, and these are. I don't know. For some reason, I connected with the Whiz Kids when I started getting into Phillies history and stuff, and it's still one of my favorite things to collect. Is all the Whiz Kids players. So this set, I had a lot of fun. I bought a lot of them in bulk, and then the last 2 or 3, it's been a couple of years, and I finally found them at the Philly show. Like the last few that I needed for individual sale, but. Some vintage stuff, but hey, it's one of my favorites.
The Phillies have a very lengthy history, and it wasn't necessarily always
right.
very good, which is good and bad. I mean, back in the day, I didn't have to endure the pain of watching bad baseball for decades upon decades. I mean,
yeah.
Got some of that in the 90s and in recent history. But it's kind of cool that at least some of the super rare stuff you can buy at affordable prices with some of the players back then. Though they do have some Hall of Famers here and there. But the Whiz Kids, 1950, another team that went on a run, captured the hearts of not only Philadelphia, but other people in the country.
Yeah.
You'll hear of just random people who became Phillies fans because of that team, which is pretty interesting.
The one thing I haven't found, the cover to that was Jim Constanti, or I think that's how you say his name, the relief pitcher that year.
MVP, right?
Who won the MVP. I was going to say, like, how crazy is that? 19 won the MVP, and I'm still on the lookout for that one. It was the cover of that section of the newspaper. It's hard to find, but yeah, what a fun team. Fun team to
Got a
collect.
mix of stuff. Here's one of the old school guys who actually, was pretty good. Chuck Klein, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Actually won the Triple Crown back in 1933. You got a little bat relic there. So that's a pretty cool one there I think this is out of tribute. Certainly looks like a tribute card. So
actually,
that's pretty cool.
1933 that there's I'm looking for the Jimmy Fox Gowdy 33, but because he and Chuck Klein both won the Triple Crown that year, which was interesting in Philadelphia. It's like that's never going to happen again, obviously.
No, not anymore.
I'm a huge JT Realmuto fan. I just think he's awesome. So this is one of my favorite JT cards here. Fun stuff. Auto.
I'm not usually a big relic fan. I don't get as excited about the patches as others, but I remember when I found this, I couldn't turn that down. That's Chase awesome. Utley, Ryan Howard, Cole Hamels, Cliff Lee. Nice pieces of patch there.
That is cool. What year is that?
This one is 2015 museum collection.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty cool.
I wonder if there's some of those on eBay. I'll be looking.
Hey,
here's what happens.
Inspiration to pick stuff up for sure.
Yeah. I'll show. I pulled this one out. This is for some reason this is one of my favorite. Oh, there you go.
Phillies also have a history of unloading players before they should, like Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins.
That's awesome. Started
off in Philadelphia, shipped out of town. Ryan Sandberg started his career in Philadelphia, shipped out of town. I'm sure Dustin Bellinger's happy about that one.
I have here. I'll show this one for Mr. Wesker Griff out there. If he watches this,
he'll be watching it in the archive.
Hello, Puddin' Head there.
His boy Puddin' Head.
One of my favorites. You one of a modern card. This is for some reason this is one of my favorite Harpers. I don't know.
It's a cool one.
Cool, yeah, really
Retail
cool.
exclusive.
Yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't always stuck out. I had to get that one.
Here's another memory. I don't know if you remember it, but Bob Dernier, when he had the walk-off inside the park home run back in it's like 1990 or something.
I don't remember that. No.
Dude, you got to watch the highlight of it. It's a great
Holy
call
crap.
by Harry Callis. He hit it in the left field corner. Kevin Mitchell was playing for the Giants out in left field. He couldn't pick up the ball. It was awesome.
Kevin Mitchell.
Bob Dernier. I loved Bob Dernier when I was a kid.
Well, then I'll have to show. I'll show this one for Mr. John for Mangini. I already showed an Ashburn, but this is one that he's looking for. Not to brag.
You have something that John Mangini doesn't?
We were both looking for this, and I happened to find it first. So we've been discussing this for like 2 years, I think. The 58 hires with Tab. I made a video. I won't rehash it, but man, that was one of my favorite finds lately. So I wanted to show that one off for sure.
Well, when you're looking for something for so long and you finally find it, and then you're able to work out a deal for it, it's just it's amazing. At the same time, sometimes it's frustrating when you're looking for things, and then all of a sudden you see a couple of them. You're like, which one do I pick? Which one am I less likely to find in the next 2 years? So.
Yeah, I mentioned to you beforehand. When I saw that, I way overplayed my hand. I was so excited to see it. The guy, I mean, he's probably like,
I'll give you anything.
Yes, that's right. That's right. The guy, I mean, I feel like I got a fair deal, but honestly, if I wasn't like a little kid, at the time I saw it, I probably would have got a better deal. But that's the way it goes. And I'm okay with that. I could care less.
Here's a cool card with a little modern day shine. Jim Bunning.
Jim Bunning.
Finest moment.
That's awesome.
Obviously from his Father's Day perfect game.
That is cool, man.
And this is, I mean, at least years ago, that
awesome.
was a very affordable card. I'm sure it's a little tougher to find now, and obviously he's passed away, but this is 2002 finest. I would think you could still find that at a pretty reasonable price. So that's one to maybe look out for.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorites. I think Robin Roberts, obviously, but just the auto and the everything. Just, I don't know. Just I can stare at this guy. This car.
The press steels are amazing, and
yeah,
I know the Ashburn ones are crazy expensive. I've seen them at the National. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's also $800.
Yeah, I looked at those too. They're literally $800-900. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm guessing he didn't sign a lot before he wasn't around to sign anymore. So
exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I never mentioned to you, Mike, but my uncle actually knew Harry Callis. He was friends with him. They played tennis together.
I need an HK autograph. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I was too young to take advantage of asking if I could meet him and everything. But
I mean, I met him a handful of times in the past because I used to do some work where I'd be in the Phillies press box here and there.
Oh, wow.
So you're in a professional space. You can't be like, Harry, you're awesome. I've been listening to you since I was 4 or 5 years old. But it was definitely interesting.
You're better than I probably couldn't contain myself.
I got used to it because actually looking back, like 2008, I remember I was down in the Phillies locker room the last day of the season. They had already clinched the night before. The last day of the 2008 season. They played mostly reserves. I remember Lou Marson hit a home run. I was there covering the game, and I was down in the locker room after the game and standing there next to Jimmy Rollins watching, I guess it was Padres Brewers, because you were watching to see, who they would play in the first round. And, there were other reporters and stuff there around it. I remember we're just like hanging out, and I'm sitting there in the back of my mind, I'm like sitting there watching this game with Jimmy Rollins and a few other players. And I remember as soon as the game ended, everyone made a beeline for Jeff Jenkins because everyone wanted to get quotes from him because he was obviously had played his entire career with Milwaukee before that. So definitely some cool experiences.
Yeah, that's amazing. Jeez. Here's a card that you made me buy, Mike. Other than
I forced you?
sale. you forced me by texting me a picture of it, which is really all it takes. But this is one that
Oh
you
yeah, I
how
love that
cool.
card.
Isn't that yeah. Diamond Stars are amazing. One of my favorites. So it
It's
made me
just a great image. I mean, that's an awesome looking set, and there's so many
yeah,
amazing cards.
it
Phillies are
really
not,
is.
but like for a Phillies card, like an old school card, like,
Yep.
and obviously there's so many of
So
the
cool.
pre-war cards that are just like portraits or don't like. I love those cards that actually have like the Phillies P on the uniform, and even the
Yeah.
guy in the background, the player in the background there, you see him with like the little Phillies P. Like it's so
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. And it's a guy I didn't know, but then you get a card like this, you look him up, you learn about another player. I think that's the fun part of it, really.
Yeah, it's fun, and like I
Yeah.
always like overthink things. I'm looking through Baseball Reference, and like I think about like the fact that people, fans before us would go to the game and like someone that was his favorite player. Like right now, someone's favorite player on the Phillies right now. Well, maybe not right now, but at some point, like Carmag, like the backup players, like there's people who are big fans of those guys. And it's like that's a part of the team's history. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about
Absolutely.
93 being an incredible year last year. It was
Oh,
also
that's
an incredible year
best set.
for baseball cards
Yep.
where refractors were born. And
That's awesome.
believe me, the terrible lighting here, like I have good lights and stuff like that. But you're going to have the reflection of the screen. It doesn't do justice how great this card looks. So John Kruk, member of the 93 Phillies, and these refractors were very limited. I'm still working on finally putting together the entire team set, but there's Tommy Green. I forget what the print run is. It's like 250 or something on these. Dave Hollins. Of course,
close to the set?
Dykstra, Darren Dalton. I need Schilling. Schilling's super expensive.
Okay.
I have a Dykstra not graded, and then I have a Dalton I got graded SGC. Like I don't really care what case they're in. I like to have them graded, but they also in 2013 Finest they did Finest flashbacks a few years ago. Before that, in 2013 Finest, they did an insert set to, like, I guess, to do the 20-year reunion, whatever you want to call it. That's not the right word.
Anniversary.
20-year anniversary for Finest. And one per box, you got a 93 Finest variation. And then they had refractors. The refractors were numbered to 25, and they are impossible to find now because it's so popular. Thankfully, I was able to jump on and buy a few. I got this Halliday and a PSA 8 at one point. Great. Super cheap. Like, these are so hard to find now.
That's a nice.
And then at some point, I remember a guy put one of these up. I sent an offer so fast, and I was willing to pay full thing, but I just couldn't help myself to send an offer. And I was like, if someone else buys this before me, I'm going to be pissed. And then I think like a coupon popped in. Boom. The guy accepted it. I paid for it, but Chase Utley.
Awesome.
And this one is actually numbered 1 of 25, but 93 Finest, one of my favorite sets of all time. So that's some modern shine for you.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that's Chris. That's cool. This is one of my favorite. My favorite Richie Allen cards. Got to show him.
That's got to be everyone's favorite. That is by far his best looking card.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's a damn good looking 3.
That's what I mean. I saw this one. Like, how do you pass up a 3? And it looks. I'd have to look at it better. But this is.
Yeah, the design that year is fantastic.
Yep.
Just the image, the color on the hat and uniform.
Yeah. I love the 65 set. Yeah.
That's an awesome looking card. It's way better looking than his rookie. I mean, his rookie's cool to have for sure, but I mean that's an awesome looking card. And some of his other cards don't exactly have the best of images.
I keep watching Tony Psyched on baseball cards. I mean, he's putting together a 65 set, and he shows all the common players, and it's like, this set is unbelievable. Every card, I'm like, it's such a great set.
Well, certainly both of us are, Ken.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Here's one of my favorites, Mike. Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's a little 1913 action.
Ooh, nice.
Red Dewitt in a 7.
That's cool.
I mean, it's a playing card. They're a little easier to get in higher grades.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
But, never mind. I do have Schilling. There's a Schilling.
Oops, you found it. That's awesome.
I forgot. I passed on it so many times. I borderline forgot that I had it. I'm thinking it's still on my need list.
I'm going to show another Ashburn because I feel the need to, but this is I think this is one of my favorite Ashburn cards. I just like the image, the color, everything is just cool. I'm a Bowman fan anyway, but this, I don't know. This is probably one of my favorites. I mentioned it before, like my Grail Ashburn card now is 49 seal test, but kind of out of my range,
The sad part about Ashburn, the most frustrating part to me is the fact that he's not in every set. Like, I wish he was in every Topps and Bowman set. And I know that's just not the way things were, but like
52 Topps would be awesome.
The fact that he's not in the 53 set, the fact that he's not in 51 Bowman, like, oh my goodness. Well, he is in 51, but there's other cards he's not in. It's just like, come on.
Yep. So one of us has to show one of these cards, Mike.
I have not.
Oh, what's that one?
Collection of the cigar box find on eBay. I did not, but I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah.
Here you go. This will be the most worthless card in this video, but it's still awesome. I mentioned earlier I was at Terry Mulholland's no-hitter. I was left-handed. I love this pickoff move. And a few years ago, I bought this for like $2 awesome. On like ComC or something. Cool. 93 SP, really nice set. It's only obviously a PSA 8. He's doing the pickoff move.
That is cool.
Terry Mulholland. I mean, that's the kind of card, there's a lot of amazing channels out there. And a lot of the channels aren't part of the community, whatever. Like, they got their 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. They give you pretty bad investment advice, at least in my opinion. I'm not personally. I'm so much more invested and impressed with seeing people's collections and seeing things that are meaningful to them, because I like a $2 card like that. I mean, some people, I guess, would say you're an idiot. That's a 10-cent card. Whatever. I prefer that to seeing some, one-of-one Zion Williamson patch card of something he never wore with a signature that he signed months ago that was peeled off a sticker and put on the card. Like the hobby's awesome, and there's so many ways to collect, but one of the ways for sure to collect is collect stuff you like.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, not to, I don't want to get Wesker Griffin here putting nasty comments like stop stealing my line, but watch the games, enjoy, collect what you love. Hitman 23. I know he says that all the time. I want to see stuff that you collect that you're passionate about and that you enjoy and that you like. Yep. Like, I get it. It's cool. I like opening products too. And sure, if I'm opening a box of Topps, I would like to get a Wander Franco 1-of-1 autograph because it has value and I'm spending a lot of money. But so I get that excitement level, but not everything can mean everything to you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to start opening Formula One because I don't care about Formula One. I get it's very popular and has value. Did I just go off on a tangent? It had nothing to do with the Phillies.
No, but it's about the hobby. So someone has to show one of these cards or this player. Otherwise, Wesker Griffin would be angry.
Sounds like a Roman Quinn's coming up.
Yeah, baby. My prized possession. Yep. Good old Mighty Quinn. I actually remember, I saw him in AA and AAA, and then obviously with the Phillies, but it's a shame. He was fun. I don't care. He was fun to watch. His speed was.
Let's hope he's not too much fun to watch in Miami.
Let's hope not.
He absolutely cannot stay healthy. It's a shame.
I think he's hurt every part on his body. Nothing twice.
There you go. We showed off a lot of Richie Ashburn.
Oh, there you go.
You got to show off a rookie, right?
Heck yeah.
49 Bowman, beautiful card.
That's awesome.
Shout out Blue Jacket 66. He hooked that one up, which was above and beyond. I remember looking for a while for that. So that's cool. And you were actually at the same Philly show, I believe, when I picked this one up.
Oh, yeah.
54 Dixie Lids, Richie Ashburn, SGC2.
I remember you saying it's over here on this table, and I was looking for the hires, and the guy had some hires there. You're like, it was right by the hires. I'm like, I was so focused. Yeah, actually, I picked one up after that. I think I shared this one. I can't remember if I did or not, but I got the I got the left. What year is the one you have, Mike? 54 or is it
54?
Okay. Yeah, like if you look at these, I didn't realize but these you could get like a ViewMaster. I think it says on here too. Yeah, 3D star viewer. So like this has a tab that says left, and then you would get one that said right, and you put them in that viewer, and it looks like it's supposed to look like a Pops, right? Like a ViewMaster thing. So now I need to find the one with the right hand tab. But I haven't seen one of those.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
54 Wilson Franks, Del Ennis.
I don't have any Wilson Franks. Those are great.
I forget exactly offhand what I paid for this, but it was more than you would expect to pay for Del Ennis. I know that much. Yeah. But that's awesome. Super cool. That's an awesome looking set.
Yeah, it is. I don't have any of those. Definitely on my list, but I don't have any examples from that set. I do. One of my favorite players, obviously, but this is one of my favorite cards that I have. Phillies card too. Just classic card, right, from that era. Yes, yeah, from Nebraska.
Dustin, did you ever see they put out a DVD, the Phillies put one out. God, at this point, I don't remember how long ago, 10, 15 years ago, but it's really good. If I find a second copy, I got to mail that out to you if you haven't seen it. What's up, Elite Hunters? Appreciate you popping in. I agree, Ken.
James. That's awesome. Yeah, you talk about the Ashburn.
Come with an egg. What's up? Yeah, there's like a documentary.
Yeah, I have that. I have it. I ripped it from the DVD. I have a MP4 of it. If anyone wants it, it's like in 2 parts. I could probably
might even be on YouTube. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of the Phillies video yearbooks on YouTube, even though I own most of them. But I'm like, I'll just put it on.
Yeah, that's where he's from, Tilden, Nebraska. Now that you say that, because in there they called him the Tilden Flash when he was coming.
But I actually have it up the mountains, and I was watching it a couple months ago. Awesome. Focus up, but. It's an old school 1887 Allen and Ginter, Joseph Mulvey. Not sure why he was in the set because they didn't make a whole lot of baseball. Yeah. It wasn't exactly that good, but I'm happy they made it.
That is awesome.
Able to get a Philly.
Yeah.
I need the 1888 Fogarty.
I don't have any Allen and Ginter. That's another. Oh yeah.
Old Judge.
Yep.
Sid Farrar, first baseman. Phillies. I love looking this stuff up. I'm like, this guy was a light hitting first baseman.
This is one of my favorites. I know I showed this one, but the John Titus. He was a great player too. Cool stuff. Cool. Polar bear. This is the polar. Yeah, it's a little stand in the back, but polar bear back.
I was so excited to buy this one too. 1888 Goodwin champions.
That is cool.
Ed Andrews in it too. I mean, look how old this damn card is and how good the color is.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, it looks like the centering is good. Like it just looks like it from here. It looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little off left to right, but it's
okay.
I mean,
yeah,
it's such a stunning looking card. I don't even, I don't worry about that. So. That's some of the super old school stuff. There's another 1887. They actually made a number of Phillies in this set. So
dang. I don't know if I have
I got this one pretty cheap raw and just sent it in. It was one of those I couldn't care less what it graded for. Authentic, I was fine with that.
Yeah, I didn't pull my other one.
Just when you find these things, you can add this different history from different years. To me, it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah. This says it's 1950 Drakes. I think it's cool. It's so plain, but they're just cool cards.
Oh yeah, I love that. I got the same one, the Eddie Wakus. I remember I was looking between that. Read the back of it. Show it up. It's hilarious.
There's so it's like a whole.
But it says something about like was shot by a deranged girl or something. I forget exactly what it says on that card, but I remember reading it, and that's why I went with it, because I was looking at that in the Del Ennis, because they're not really that cheap.
No, they're not. You have to find them. I got lucky and found this one, the Sisler too. Yeah, wait, as you know, that's the basis for the natural, and so it's fun to have the card that actually references that issue with the deranged. I forget how they word it. It's so small I can't even read it.
What's up, AD? Oh, believe me, that's the end goal. It might take an eternity because some of them are pretty pricey, but that's kind of what I like to do. I like to try and pick up an example from all the different sets, specifically the old school stuff. I mean, it's going to be a little hard to do every Topps release every year and all that. But here's a cool one. Hall of Famer Chuck Klein, 32, U.S. Caramel, and a 4.
That is awesome. Your Phillies PC is insane.
Just grab the fraction of it.
It's insane, though.
I could probably do like a 10 to 12-hour video if I start showing off like all this freaking parallels from like, last 5 years or something.
Yeah, that's incredible, though.
See, here's the Richie Allen we were referencing before. And it's awesome. Potentially a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame he's not in yet, but that's cool. But that second year card, the 65, to me is his best looking card for sure.
It's definitely my favorite one. Absolutely. I did pull out another Ashburn, but I love these Redmond too. So many cool sets from back then. And there's not enough money to buy everything that I want to get. It's like,
so you gotta win the lottery and
especially now,
buy everything. It's so hard. But I mean, honestly, you look at it. Yeah, I love the DeLongs too. They're really nice. Chuck Klein in the 2.
That's beautiful.
But the thing is, you look at some of these cards, and they're, some of them can range. It just depends, right? It depends how many are out there and what the demand is for the player. But if it's like a rare card, even if it's a no-name player, it could cost you a couple $100. And sometimes you're spending that, and you kind of feel a little guilty. And then I look at and I love the modern stuff and I love the ultra modern stuff. And I'm like, dude, a box of Topps, a hobby box of Topps costs you $120. If you open 2 boxes of Topps, I was like, instead of opening that, you could just get that kick ass card that's 75, 80 years old,
It's true. Yeah. That's one of my issues. Like we were talking just before, I enjoy modern everything. So like I buy cards at your sale and then I go on eBay and buy other Phillies cards and I buy a box to open once in a while. But if you add that all up, you could probably get a really sweet Phillies card or another card you wanted from history.
But it's just like, it's so hard because I know there are people who are focused and they're just, boom, I buy this player. I think of Brian Roth and it's like, he's just buying Hank Greenbergs, and I'm like, I just can't do it. Like,
me neither. I can't.
It's just so
focus.
fun.
Yep, it is. Yeah,
it's
and it's
nice,
actually worse
nice
now.
shine.
Oh, get out of here! There you go.
Scott Rowland rookie, and there we go. This is the refractor. We got the base, both in fine PSA 9s.
That's awesome.
But that's another thing about baseball, like coming up. Like obviously Scott Rowland when he came up, right? There were a lot of expectations, and people thought he'd be very good.
Yeah.
But then you go on to realize, like at a certain point, and I think for me, I don't think I ever really appreciated him as much as I should have. Like I knew he was a very good player and I enjoyed watching him. But you're at a younger age where sometimes you don't even look at the full scale of baseball. You're just looking at the bat, stuff like that. Now you look back and I'm like watching highlights. I'm like, oh my God, he was so good defensively.
Good defense. Yes. Yeah.
Especially after you watch Butchers for a few years. But and then you take a step back and you look and you're like, dude, I was watching potentially a Hall of Fame player. Like he is very likely to reach the Hall of Fame, just whether you think he's a Hall of Famer or not. Like you just look at how he's performed in the voting. Like I'd be shocked if he's not elected in the next 3 years. And it's like you step back and then you look forward to seasons like, hey, who am I watching the beginning of a career now that could be like that someday? I mean, that's a lot of fun.
Let's hope Mr. Stott is one of those guys, right? we could use that this year.
That would definitely be nice. And then sometimes you get a chance to see Hall of Famers once they're established, like when the Phillies, who for many times, obviously in recent years, they've made a lot of good acquisitions, but until 2003, they were not the type of team that went out and signed big free agents. And one of the really big ones, kind of start that off, was the Jim Tomei signing. They were signed him the year before Citizens Bank opened. And I just remember the excitement in the city, and the excitement for me personally, and the excitement for like even my family. Like I remember it. It's not like we're not like a family. We weren't a family that went out to eat a lot and stuff like that. I was one of 6 kids growing up. And, but I remember my dad, like we went out, I think I was driving, what was it, 2003? So yeah, I had a car at that point. And I remember my dad was like, "Oh, meet me." And we went out like for pizza, like to like celebrate the Phillies signing Jim Tomei. So it's like, these cards are so cool. And, you know, the memories. And that's one of the things you look forward to a season. Even sometimes it might be the very end of a Hall of Fame career, but
Pedro. That's
Pedro
a great
Martinez.
card, though. Yeah.
And the thing I love, my favorite thing about Pedro, and I have a lot of friends who are Mets fans, and they're like, "Oh, Pedro was a Met, this and that." I was like, "Listen, you guys paid him like $80 million. He won a National League pennant with the Phillies, didn't win any with the Mets. So it is what it is, but it's certainly the truth." But
True.
he was really good in his short time with the Phillies. He probably made like a dozen starts with them. I remember Sunday, I think it was Sunday Night Baseball, facing Tim Lincecum. Game was like 2 hours, 1 minute. It was like a 2-1 pitcher's duel or 2-0. It was awesome. I remember being at that game. It was amazing.
Oh, what, you were at the game? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was at that one. It was fantastic.
That's awesome. That's sweet.
Got some comments here. Ken's Cardboard. I absolutely agree. I just couldn't possibly do it.
Yep. Yeah. Fanatic or other. Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I always think there was his Bowman was the first pack pulled Phillies card. His first Phillies card was a Topps Now card.
But yeah, the Topps Now.
The Bowman that was a short print, not like any kind of super short print, is always kind of what I think of for early cards. But I also really like he has the Topps Now card, and they had autographed ones when he hit the walk-off grand slam against the Cubs. And that to me is like one that stands out as well.
One of your favorites. Yeah, I think the Topps Now, and then they came with the living set one. I love the living set. You know, it was one of his cards. It's not really him playing, but you know, I just love that set, and it was an earlier card.
So, shout out to Wesker Griff.
I don't have any Soto here, unfortunately.
I agree. I like that comment, because whenever I'm listening to stuff like during the lockout, and I'm hearing people talk about it, so they got to shorten the season. I'm like, if you're worried about how long the season is, like honestly, you're not a baseball fan.
That's right.
And and like I agree with pace of play. There's things that they could fix. If I go to a game, I'm not saying I want a 5-hour game, because I do have stuff to do like everyone else, or have to go to work and stuff like that. But I do feel like I got ripped off if I go there and see a game that's an hour and 46 minutes long. I'm like, yo, like, come on.
You spend more time driving there than you're at the game at that point in Philadelphia, right?
I mean, Aaron Rowan had a nice little run with the Phillies. 2007, he was part of that team that came back and won the division. Yeah. They were like 7 games back with 17 to play. Obviously, his moment with the Phillies, best known for running into the fence, smashing his face out in center field, catching a ball to help save a game. They won that one. Gavin Floyd on the mound, who was a big prospect. Him and Cole Hamels were the 2 big prospects. Hamels went on to have the better, more consistent career. Obviously, won a NL and NLCS and World Series MVP with the Phillies. But Gavin Floyd had a solid career. I mean, he wasn't incredible or consistent, had a lot of injury problems, but had some solid seasons, Cleveland, other areas. I think he brought no hitters into the like 7th, 8th inning a few times too. He's with the White Sox. I believe he was part of the Jim Tomei trade.
Yeah. Gavin Floyd was with the White Sox. Yep. Yeah. Man, we're almost, this is another guy
of course, we love the flying Hawaiian Shane Victorino.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He was awesome. I guess, you know, and I did appreciate him when he was there, but I appreciate him even more now, looking back, on that team.
Jimmy Rollins.
No way. That's awesome.
I actually caught one from David Bell.
Did you?
My dad caught one off the bat of Bobby Abreu in the same game.
Get out.
So you have a better chance of hitting the Powerball. It was an awesome experience. I'd probably rather have won the Powerball because then I could buy more cards.
Yeah. I have never had a ball come close enough where I can even touch it, unfortunately. There you go. There's a Schmidt rookie.
Still waiting for Wesker Griff to add a Mike Schmidt to his collection. Of course, Pepino Man would always say that Ron Say is the one that makes this card valuable.
That's right. Yeah. I love Schmidt's 74, but I also like the 75 too. It's cool.
Yeah, he has a ton of awesome cards. His 74 is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I love his 89 tops. Love that card.
Yeah, I didn't bring. I had a bunch of Schmidt. I don't think I brought it down.
Got a couple non-Phillies cards, believe it or not. One that I always keep. It brings us tears.
Oh wow!
1993 Joe Carter. That moment.
You own that card. Wow.
Yes, I did. I'd like to hurt myself, but where that was forgiven and somewhat forgotten.
There you go.
It's right here. Eric Kinski. He was the final batter that Bradley struck out to conclude the 2008 World Series.
Yes.
This one was acquired via TTM. I did not mention that, hey, I'm a Phillies fan. It was awesome when you struck out and looked really bad on that third strike in the 08 World Series. But it was very nice. He signed it, got it back, got it slabbed up. So that
was the postmark, like moment. Philadelphia. I don't know about this guy.
Rays fan in Philadelphia.
I
think he might have been with the Cubs when I got that sign.
Oh, okay. Here you go, Mike. Here's a card.
Yeah, that guy. That's
the duel, man.
The bearded version.
Yeah, that's right. This is probably a collector's item now. You're not allowed to grow it back. Yeah, here's a Abreu. I thought I had it here. This is.
What up, Henry?
There you go.
Bobby A.
Yeah.
That was one of the great. We talked about earlier. I mentioned like Fergie Jenkins, Ryan Sandberg, but that was one of the really incredible deals the Phillies pulled off. Kevin Stocker for Bobby Abreu.
Yep. Yeah.
That worked out well.
Yeah, I love Bobby Abreu. It's fun. Great player. Yeah, these are all. I don't have anything exciting as yours now, Mike. I didn't bring you down enough cool cards.
Well, I only got one left. And we have been on. Not shocked. I said 30 minutes. I said we'd probably stretch to 45. We're over an hour. Not a surprise. Just kind of knew we'd have a good time and have fun with it. But this is one of my favorites for sure. This one was actually guy on YouTube, Jack Scraffs, actually got this signed for me at spring training a number of years ago. And it's an amazing image. It's obviously an amazing moment, one that, is awesome to both of us. Card looks beautiful. It's from a set I love, Allen and Ginter.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love this card.
Awesome. Yeah.
Brad Lidge, after the Phillies won the 2008 World Series.
That is awesome card, yeah.
Which somehow is going on like 14 years ago, but I can still remember it. Absolutely. I still and that's the great thing about sports, and that's why I do. Obviously, it's hard to see a team win a World Series because there are 30 teams. So even if you took turns, it'd be once every 30 years, right? And that's why it's so special to win one, to get to see one. And that's why you have situations where you do have Cubs fans who go generations without seeing one. And it's and you kind of have that with Cleveland now, right? They haven't won in 65 years, whatever it's been. And that's why you embrace those moments. And the funny thing about sports and the interesting thing about sports and why sports are important is because it can be a roadmap and it can help solidify memories in your mind to people, to places, to time. It's really hard to believe that was 14 freaking years ago. But I still remember went down to the game, and then of course it was a rain. It was weird, right? You had to go back, but I still remember like driving down Broad Street because I went to the game. I had a ticket with my dad. We sat in section 320, row 3, seats 11 and 12 behind home plate, upper level. We had season tickets back then. But we had 2 other tickets because we had a plane, and my 2 brothers were going, and my brother was at LaSalle at the time. So I remember we went down to pick him up at LaSalle and then went down Broad Street. And I still remember like going by, like, you know, going through Center City and just like the electricity in the area. And like, you remember the game. Like, I remember like just flashes of moments. Like, I still can picture the dude who was sitting to my left. My dad was to my right, a random dude with a mustache to the left. Like, he had season tickets. So I'd seen him often. I mean, I haven't seen the guy now at this point, like 12 years. And I can still, if I saw him in like a supermarket, like I would absolutely recognize that dude. I'm like, dude, like sat next to you during the World Series. And like, obviously it's something like growing up, like I was known for being a baseball fan and the Phillies fan and things like that. So it's like, that's how people identified you to a degree. Like, I was super shy. I mean, I'm on here on YouTube, we're talking for an hour, but like, I mean, kindergarten, first grade, like I was not someone who was talking like, so teachers would talk to you about stuff like that to get you, you know, to open up and stuff like, and so like, I don't know, you connect all those dots. And like, I just think back to like, I remember thinking to myself, like going into the 9th inning, I'm like, dude, they're like trying to let it sink in. Like, they're 3 outs away from winning the World Series. Like, is this real?
Yes. And you're
like,
there. Jeez.
And being there and like the electricity and seeing the towels. And like, I love to absorb everything. Obviously your main focus is on the game, but like, I'm looking around, I'm looking at my dad to the right. I'm looking at the crowd. You kind of see the traffic out there. And I still remember like, throws the pitch, swing and a miss. You're like, oh my God, they won the World Series. And I just remember like flashes. I remember like seeing out in center field them drop the banner right away. And I remember looking out and seeing the Fanatic running out in the field with the big flag. And like, I remember like hugging my dad to my right. And I just seeing them mob Lidge. Like, and that's why it's awesome. And that's why the hobby's awesome. Like, obviously, and like I'm now at a space where I'm also selling cards. And I mean, I've always bought and sold cards to a degree. I've more so opened cards, had way too many cards and sold off extra cards. Tried to do a little more than that right now, but I'm still always going to be a collector first. Right. Yeah. And like, to me, that's the best part about collecting. And that's why, like we talked about before, loving the hobby, loving the sport, like collect what you love. You want to be smart too, but like, this is what makes these things so special.
Yep.
I mean, I guess this card has some value. I'm sure it's something someone would pay 50 or $100 for, something like that, if you consider how much it would cost to get signed off and all that stuff. But it's not like it's not some card you're going to show off on a top 10 list and get, 50,000 views. Maybe not everyone's going to find that card awesome, but that's why it's awesome to me, because it connects all those moments we talked about. And like, you think back to that time in your life, and I'm sure you could do the same. Like, I think back to people I worked with that I obviously don't work with, and some of the people I talk to still very frequently, and other people I haven't talked to forever, but like, I can remember like all those people like along the ride, and people, friends that you would see a little more often then. Like, I can just flash back to that season, and that's what something like a card can do, is to help have you think about that. And it kind of throws you down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah. It brings back the memories. And then like, even doing a live like this and telling that story, it's awesome, right? It's just a way to get it out there. People identify with, especially people who collect, right? So yeah, it's amazing. I think that's probably the best part of the hobby, right? Is connecting with what you collect and those memories and the nostalgia around it all. That's absolutely true. Absolutely.
It is a ton of fun, and it's definitely been fun. We'll go through a few comments here before we wrap things up, but that's the point of being optimistic and excited for another season. Every season brings something new. Not every season is going to be the best season, but every season can be a building block towards those memories. Because, we're keep referring to the '08 World Series, but there was a big build up to that, and that's what made it so special. I mean, I get it. I get the whole bandwagon type of thing. Like, I could get excited on a bandwagon for another local team too, but it's never going to mean the same
Right.
if you're not putting in the effort. It's kind of like, anything in life. If you don't put in the effort, you're not going to get that full effect. And that's really the way it is.
Yeah.
I do remember Ted. I think he's taking a extended break from YouTube, but he's an awesome guy. I actually have him in a vlog video. He came down from the Boston area and met up with him and a group of other guys at a Phillies game a number of years ago. I'll have to find that video and share it. Hey, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
As long as Joe Carter stays at home.
Not allowed in the building.
Ken, yeah, I believe I was at that game. I think that was the game. That was off Kyle Loesch. I've been pretty lucky. The Phillies postseason games I went to,
Man.
They lost. Well, I guess they lost one to the Cardinals too. But the first couple years, 07 and 09, I saw them lose games to the Rockies, and they had won all the other games I was at. But I remember that one. I think Kyle Loesch gave up the grand slam. That was a little rough. Nina, add this to your watch later list and watch the archive.
One of
I think
my
you'll
favorites.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just recently had Nina on the podcast, Hobby Talk. So if you guys haven't had a chance to listen, I encourage you to do so.
We talk a little about Larry Doby now, or what?
When I was rolling through some cards, taking out some of the Philly stuff. I didn't. I found my Larry Doby Bowman in a PSA 7. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Grab the 7.
There, Nina. That one's for Nina.
What's up, Ricky?
Ricky Clark.
Yeah, I see Ricky Clark, but I just see Ricky, and out of my mind, I'm like, oh man, Ricky Jordan, baby. Start thinking Phillies.
Yeah, Ricky. Oh man, Ricky Jordan. Yeah, that's a good name from the past.
Member of the '93 Phillies.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, if Ricky Jordan, as hyped up as he was as a rookie, if 1988 was now, his first Bowman would be like $1,500. So
can you imagine? Yeah,
it makes you think a little bit about some of your first Bowman autos too. What's up, Impact Player?
Trey Woods, yeah.
That was an awesome game. I remember watching it. I think they cut into it on ESPN. I actually still want to go, and I had it at one point and years ago. I don't even remember what happened to it, but the 97 Bowman Chrome Kerry Wood rookie, that's like one of the all-time awesome rookie cards. Baseball is back.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Definitely a way to remember stuff. Reese is always right. Reese is right about everything.
Mike took a big risk having me on here, so I appreciate it, Mike.
Ricky Batalico.
Ricky Bo.
That was another great memory. I was fortunate enough to go to the 96 All-Star game and got to see Ricky Batalico. He was the Phillies' lone representative. National League won that game 4-0. Ken Caminiti hit a home run in that game. Mike Piazza had the big home run. He was MVP. And I remember before the game down by the stands getting it. And my seats were up high, but you could go down low. Before the game started during warmups, I remember getting Kenny Lofton's autograph. I got someone else, I forget offhand. And then like randomly, the game was already underway. And I remember walking out with my dad. We went to go to a bathroom or something. And we ran into Bob Dole, who was presidential candidate at that time. And like my dad had a baseball in his pocket and got it signed by him. And it's
Bob Dole.
And it's like, you think of it now, like in this year, like you'd never come close to a presidential game.
No.
You couldn't even, they probably shut off the entire upper deck. And it's
you'd be tackled if you came.
How is time changing? And my dad like reached into his pocket and gave him a baseball. Now they probably would have, God knows what would have happened to him.
Yeah, you'd have been tackled on the ground.
But again, just memories. That's one of the things that makes the sport so great.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. We could probably go on till 11 a.m. tomorrow, right in time for the regular season. But It's been great, Reese.
Awesome.
It's been awesome to talk, see some of your awesome cards, show off some of my stuff, talk about baseball, some of our expectations. If you have any final thoughts, now is the time to get them out.
No, man, go Phillies. I appreciate it, Mike, having me on. Like I said, first time I've been on a live, so a little nervous, but tons of fun. And obviously, you're a wily vet and make it easy, but I really appreciate it. Had a blast.
Hey, I'm just trying to make a superstar. So next thing I know, every night you'll probably be on live streams. We'll see.
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen.
Hey, you never know. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, you guys, if you don't reach the postseason, that will be the biggest shocker ever. But Eloy, what's up, man?
Yep.
Dustin, appreciate it.
Dustin, cool.
Have a good night, Ken. that card, that is a funny looking card. You look at
I don't have that one.
You look at Jason Worth at the end of his career with the Nationals, the long hair and the beard, and he's I think in an Orioles like t-shirt or something, has giant glasses. It's hilarious. But it's been a lot of fun, Reese. Once again, hopefully we can do this again to celebrate the Phillies clinching their first postseason berth in an eternity. At least it feels that way.
It's true.
And hopefully it'll be a fun season, and appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate everyone watching live, those who watched archive. If you wouldn't mind doing so, even if you watched live, post a comment, hit the like button on the archive. It'd be nice to see. I don't really care about the YouTube algorithm that much. And of course, Reese and I, if we really wanted this to be seen by the masses, we would be giving you lousy investment advice or pretending to rip and get huge hits. I would be like, I ripped this mystery pack and got, this $800 card. But it would be nice to see other passionate baseball fans and collectors get to see this video. So we would definitely appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone watching again. Reese,
thanks, man.
Have a great one.
You
Baseball 2022 starts tomorrow. Phillies Friday. The Oakland Athletics, formerly the Philadelphia Athletics, come back to Philadelphia, and hopefully they head back to Oakland 0-3.
0-3.
We will see.
We'll see.
Have a good night, everyone.
Later.